stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.
Hello and welcome back to We Are Mighty. I am your host, LaTanya Cross, aka Mighty's Mama. Who is Mighty? Well, he was my son Miles, who was taken from us way too soon, July of 2023, at the tender age of 24. It's hard to believe that it's almost been 2 years. New journey, every day. I learn something new. I see things from different perspectives. And I know that it's going to continue. I have recently decided to pull myself out of the depression that I've been dealing with for almost 2 years since my son was taken from me. Because, to be honest, I'm just tired of being this person. I want to be upbeat again. I want to be more energetic. I want to be happy-go-lucky like I used to be. Now, of course, I won't be the exact person that I used to be, but I'm determined to be a better version of this current person. One of the things that I've done recently is I began taking a mental health advocacy course. I took it for a couple of reasons. First reason was for myself, so that I can maybe have different avenues as far as pulling myself from this depression and just ways of dealing with things, of dealing with my feelings and being able to advocate for myself when needed. Another reason is just to be able to advocate for other people, to advocate for family members, people in the area who may be in need. But it's really been a self-reflective journey as of lately. It's an 8-week course. I'm about to start week 6. And these first 5 weeks, a lot of it was me looking at me. So recently, one of our assignments was to watch the 2 movies, Inside Out and Inside Out 2. Now, if you remember recently when Inside Out 2 came out, it just really took everyone by storm. Like the way that, even though it's an animated series and the way that it was looking at emotions and dealing with emotions, it hit a lot of people. I mean, churches were doing series on it. And I remember, like, why is everybody so excited like this about Inside Out 2? The first one was the same thing. The emotions were different, but the first one was the same thing, dealing with the young girl and her emotions. But for some reason, Inside Out 2 just blew up. So I had already seen the first one. And when I watched it this time, of course, it was completely different for me. And even when we discussed it in class and everyone talked about how the movie affected them and what they learned from it, I saw it all from a completely different perspective. So just in case you are someone who hasn't seen Inside Out, the first one I'm going to read you the synopsis of the movie. Riley is a happy, hockey-loving 11-year-old Midwestern girl, but her world turns upside down when she and her parents move to San Francisco. Riley's emotions, led by Joy, try to guide her through this difficult, life-changing event. However, the stress of the move brings sadness to the forefront. When joy and sadness are inadvertently swept into the far reaches of Riley's mind, the only emotions left in headquarters are anger, fear, and disgust. So Inside Out, they're dealing with these 5 main basic emotions: joy, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. And again, she's an 11-year-old girl, so a lot of what goes on in her life is full of joy. And as the plot goes, sadness kind of creeps in. And then things are kind of shaken up. So one of the early scenes in the movie, as Riley is going back over some of her memories, happy memories, sadness comes up and she would touch the memories. And those happy memories would all of a sudden become sad, or sadness would creep into those happy memories. And for me, from a grief perspective, I felt like that's what's been happening to me. A lot of my memories that I try to go back over to see the happiness, the sadness creeps in. The sadness of, oh, I'll never be able to do that again. Or I'll never be able to experience that with a grandchild that's Miles's son or daughter. Or, I won't be able to experience this with Miles. These memories we're creating now. Everything that I've been thinking about, that sadness crept in. So it's weird to me watching this movie that's really about an 11-year-old girl just dealing with her emotions. And it's affecting me. And I feel like it is reflecting what I'm dealing with in my grief journey. So I'm listening to everyone in our advocacy class talk about, it's, interesting how our emotions can take over certain things and, how we need to advocate for people to make sure they bring the joy to the forefront. Where I'm just like, that's not what I saw. I saw my life right now. And it's crazy to me that this was an assignment that I was given after I said, you know what? I'm going to pull myself out of this depression. Because it actually kind of helped me to see, yes, even though there are happy memories, sometimes you need that sadness to remind you what that happiness feels like. So I'm watching this movie and I'm just blown away at how I'm literally seeing myself in the mind of an 11-year-old in an animated series, or an animated movie, I guess. And as the movie goes on, joy and sadness get swept into the far regions of Riley's mind. So they're in an area where there are forgotten memories. And that's one of the things that I worry about. I don't want Miles to be forgotten. I don't want any of his memories to be so far in the back of my mind that I can't conjure them back up. And I think that's what's been keeping me in the depression, because I want to keep these memories in the forefront. And then the sadness is saying, yeah, but he's gone. Yeah, but he can't do that anymore. Yeah, but you can't laugh about this with him anymore. So is this really a happy memory? So it's like I'm having this constant fight with joy and sadness. Like, this was really blowing me away, watching this animated movie and it hitting me in this way. I literally cried watching this movie. And I know some people have cried watching it with the emotions and everything. But the way that it had me looking at it, it just literally blew me away. So there's a part where Joy is still trying to get back into Riley's mind. I believe sadness got there. And I apologize for the spoilers if you haven't seen it, or if you still plan on seeing it. Still watch it. There's so much more to it that could really help you. You may want to watch it just for that reason. So she's in the far regions of her mind, and she runs into Riley's imaginary friend. I think his name was Bing Bong. And it was just, a memory of a friend that she created that was with her during her early years that as an 11-year-old she had forgotten about. So Joy and Bing Bong are trying their best to get back into headquarters, as they called it, which is basically Riley's mind. Now, while they're gone, Riley's going through life. Things are happening and everything it's like almost puberty, Not really, because that's more an Inside Out 2. But she's dealing with these changes because they moved from the Midwest to California. She's not happy. And she's lashing out at her parents. You know, these other emotions are taking over. Anger's stepping in a lot. Disgust. She's saying smart alecky things to her parents because that's, you know, the disgust part of it. She's fearful of things. And, you know, it's just how her life is now with not having that joy in her mind. And so Joy and Bing Bong, the imaginary friend, are trying to get back to the forefront, you know, things that make her happy, things that make her celebrate, things that make her laugh. And this is kind of a spoiler. Towards the end, they realize that in order to get to this cliff where they need to reach to get to Riley's mind, they have to sing Bing Bong's theme song. And they're singing it and they're in this little cart and it makes the cart fly, basically. I know it sounds weird, but just stay with me. So they're singing the song and they would go so high, but barely miss reaching the cliff where they need to go. So they try it a couple of times and get defeated each time. Like the cliff is here, they go up, they get right about here and just fall. And so Bing Bong says to Joy, try it one more time. I have a good feeling about this one. And he kind of looks at her weird. And it's like, what's he up to? And so they go again and they're singing the song, singing it louder. And just as they get ready to launch, Bing Bong lets go. And Joy is able to fly up to the cliff on her own without him. And Bing Bong yells to her something along the lines of, you did it. Make her successful for me. And in that moment, somehow, I didn't see Bing Bong on the screen. I saw my son. And it was like he was saying, go be great, Mom. You don't have to carry the weight of this anymore. Go and live your life and be great. And you're going to be successful. You're going to be great at it. And I know that's not what this movie was about, but that's what hit me. And it just, I literally couldn't stop crying. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? I'm watching an animated movie and it literally was speaking to me in my grief journey and saying it's okay to not keep holding on to it. And so that's what I'm trying to do. It doesn't mean that I'm forgetting him. It doesn't mean that I'm letting go of his memories. But I'm trying to let go of the pain that plagues me every day, all day. I want to hold on to the happy memories. I want to hold on to the happiness and the joy that I always experienced with my son. He's fulfilled his journey with us. Did we want him around longer? Absolutely. Did we want to make more memories? Absolutely. But his assignment is done. And what I have to hold on to now is everything that he brought to me that was good. And there were so many things. And so that's my encouragement to you. Grief will tear you down. It will destroy you if you let it. And you'll never stop grieving. I've said that throughout the whole duration of this podcast. You'll never stop grieving, but it's the way that you deal with it. Or at least that's how I feel it is. It's the way that I deal with it. I have to understand it wasn't my decision. It wasn't my plan. Because of course, if it was my plan, my baby'd still be here. Of course, we'd still be making memories. But now that he's not, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to continue in this depression? Am I going to continue going through life angry? Because that's what I've been for almost 2 years, angry. Yes, I'm hurt. Yes, I'll be angry at that situation, but I can't let the anger take over anymore. I feel like I may have lashed out at people that I never meant to lash out at. And only I can control that. And only you can control it. However your journey is, whatever stage you're in your journey, you can control how you deal with it. Is it going to be easy? Probably not. I have probably said more times in the past 7 to 10 days, I am pulling myself out of depression, that people are looking at me like, why do you keep saying that? Because I have to manifest it. I have to get myself to the point where the depression is second nature. The happiness is what's first. The joy is what's first. The sadness is going to be there. The fear, the anger, all of it's going to be there. I just want to choose joy to be my primary emotion, to be my primary way of dealing with things. There's so many things that I've had just completely stop as a result of this grief. And I've got to pick those things back up. The way I explained it to my mom, because yes, family members are hurting just like I am, but they're not hurting to the level that I am. And what I explained to my mom was, when my son was killed, my world stopped. But everyone else's didn't. So while I am here, stuck, not moving forward, still holding on, honestly, to July 16th, 2023, everybody else is in May of 2025. I can't move forward that way. I'm not moving forward that way. And my mom was like, she said to me, well, you did say to me last week that you realized you can't allow this depression to take over. Yes, Mom, but guess what? I got 2 whole years I got to make up. I got to figure all of this out. There are things that have suffered because I let grief stop me in my tracks. I've definitely been in a state of active depression, or I can't even remember the term that I used before, the being depressed but still operating, being depressed but still doing the bare minimum, to be honest. I'm thinking I'm almost 50. I've lost a couple of years. There are some things that I planned on having done by now. And I let grief stop that. If my son were here, he wouldn't allow me to be this way. He wouldn't let me just wallow in it. And it's just crazy that it took an animated movie to really, really put things into perspective. Even the visuals, when they were looking at happy memories, and you notice there's visuals in the movie as far as joy was always a yellow light or a golden light. And so when Riley had happy memories, they were yellow. But when the sadness would creep in, they would start to turn blue. So you would see that the sadness was taking it over. That just was a light bulb for me, because that's how everything has been. Even current celebrations, even current things that are such happy memories, I will literally be celebrating and happy, and in the back of my mind, if only Miles were here to celebrate this with me. And I would think again. The sadness would take over. The grief would take over. That type of emotional roller coaster several times a day, it can't be healthy. That's why I go to a therapist. That's why there's mental health treatment and there's mental health advocates out there to try to help us maintain a healthy balance. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I encourage you, if you can, to try the same. Don't let the grief consume you. You are a golden light. You are a light in the darkness. Don't let that sadness, that grief, that pain dim your light. That's the best way I can put it. So I'm just putting a foot forward. I know we had the episode that was the shift. I feel a shift. I do feel a shift. I felt a shift then. It's just that it shifted and then it shifted back. And I'm consciously trying to make sure that I shift forward more than I shift back. You know, they used to say, oh, you take 2 steps forward and 4 steps back. If I can take 2 steps forward and maybe 1 back, at least I've advanced. Then maybe it'll be 3 steps forward and still only 1 back. I've gone a little bit farther. I was talking to my son. He's been my oldest son. He's been dealing with some things and he gets so upset, and he gets to the point where he can only talk to me, and he just goes on and like I can't get a word in edgewise. And even with him, I said, son, you got to change your perspective. Yes, the situation is bad. Yes, the situation is upsetting. But the only thing you can control is how you deal with it. You can't control anybody else's actions. You can't control anybody else's reactions. You can only control yourself. So I'm living it, or I'm at least trying to, day by day. And I have to tell myself sometimes, Tanya, control it, flip it, change it. We're not going to stay here. We're not going to be in the sadness. I literally, as another part of my class, he told us about an app where you share how you're feeling for the day or how you're feeling at that moment. You could set it up. My husband and I now use that app because sometimes just expressing how we're feeling to each other is difficult, especially if one of us is angry, don't want to hear it. But it just shares to where he gets an alert on his phone that says, LaTanya's feeling this way. And then you can elaborate on it or not. You can just say, this is the feeling that I have. One of the things that we use in our class is a color wheel. It's a color wheel of emotions. So I learned not to just ask people, how you doing? Because usually if it's how you doing, I'm fine. I'm all right. But if you say, how are you feeling? There's a little deeper answer there. So I'm really trying to be in touch with what I'm feeling and why. And if it's negative, how can I change it? How can I fix it? Because nobody else has control of that. Somebody else's statements or actions may affect it, but they can't control it. Only I can. And only you can control your emotions, your feelings, how you deal with things, your approach. had someone tell me that I was mean, and I at least thought I was the farthest from it. And I was so upset that that person said that. But then I saw someone made a statement that when someone tells you how you've made them feel, you can't change that. You can't change how that situation made them feel, even if that wasn't your intent. What you can change is how you deal with that, how you move forward from it. If I said something that made this person think I was mean, what was it that I did? What was it that I said? What is it about me now that would make someone think that? Self-reflection. I'm doing that a lot lately, and I feel like it's really helping me on this journey. So I encourage you to do the same. Look up the emotion color wheel. Look up apps that may just help you deal with your feelings. Look up apps that you may need to, white noise or something that can calm you, that can get you in a mood where you're not sad, where you're not depressed. Take it by the reins, because that's what I'm doing. 2 years is bananas to stay in an emotional state. And I'm just trying my best to turn it around, to flip it inside out, if you will. I'm ready for the bumps. I know that I'm not going to wake up every morning, hey, it's a new day, I'm going to skip down the street. No, that's not going to happen. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to feel sad. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to miss my son. I'm going to feel depressed for one reason or another. Will I stay in it? Will my whole day be consumed by it? Or will I take it by the reins and figure out a way? I don't care if it's watching something funny, looking up stupid jokes, something to turn it around. Depression will not win here. Grief will not win. It'll still be a part of my life. I'm just going to control to what level it affects me, because I'm going to miss my son every day. That's a life sentence. But I don't have to be sad all the time. I don't have to have underlying anger that I'll never know when it comes out. I have vowed to take control of it. I have vowed to keep it under wraps. And you may not be to this place. You may not be where you can do that. But just keep it in your mind. You are in control of it. So like I said, you may want to watch that movie. It may help you. It may help you in a completely different way. You may see it from a completely different perspective. And that's fine. I don't expect you to be me. I'm here to help, as always. Take it by the reins. If you remember nothing else that I said today, don't let it consume you. Because it'll take you to a place that you don't want to go. And it'll go where it's harder and harder to pull yourself out of it. Not saying that you can't. It's just more difficult. I have faith in you. I have faith in me. We're going to get through this. Day by day. Hour by hour, minute by minute. Whatever it takes. As always, in everything you do, be true to yourself, be strong, and be mighty. We're here every other Friday, everywhere you listen to podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube and Spotify. Feel free to email me at wearemighty24@gmail.com or visit our Facebook page for the We Are Mighty podcast, which I will be posting more on soon as I pull myself out of this depression. You've got this. I'll see you next time.
They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.